Here we are again, boys and girls, with our sun at the center of our solar system, even though it's over in the corner of our mat, because we're about to see all of our planets going in order, and we've added a few more, so let's say them together. Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Moon, Mars, asteroid belt, Jupiter. But let's just say the planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. And who knows our next planet? What is our next planet in order from the sun? I'll give you a hint. It's got rings. It is, you've got it. It's Saturn. Oops. See if I can lay that out there without falling over. It's Saturn. And it, too, is a big gas giant planet. We can hardly fit it on our mat. Saturn. So let's say the planets in order again. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Do you remember the other ones? Uranus, Neptune, and the dwarf planet Pluto. All right, let's find out some interesting facts about our new outer planet. And now you can sort of see why it's called the outer planet, because it's outside that asteroid belt. And it's one of our big gas giants. Do you remember about Jupiter, that all the planets could fit inside of it? Well, Saturn is not quite that big, but it's pretty big. Okay, let's find out. Saturn. It's an outer planet, as I said. It's most known for these rings that orbit around the planet. And do you know what they're made of? Chunks of ice and rock. Some of Saturn's moons are found in its rings too. Well, have you ever gotten crushed ice and it's real tiny and crushed up? I wish I had some right now. And you would get a good idea if you have a switch in your refrigerator where you can get the ice out and you can switch it to crushed ice. Go get some after you finish watching this video, or if you want to pause for a second, and then you will know what the rings of Saturn are. If you were here with me, I would have crushed ice for you to feel, and rocks. We would imagine Saturn's rings. Well, here's a far out fact for us. Each of Saturn's moons is unique. That means it's one of a kind. Lapidus has one hemisphere that is dark as coal, and the other is bright white. Whoa. So just like on our Earth, remember we've talked about the hemispheres? So the Earth has an imaginary line that cuts it in half, and you can see on our globe here. It literally cuts it in half. It's put together, but that's our equator. So that we've got the northern part and the southern part, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, this fact says that the top part is black as coal on that moon, and the bottom part is white, bright white. Hey, that's pretty funky. Let's see what Saturn's diameter is. And really, it's so hard for us to understand this, but it's just good for you to see the numerals and me to read them to you. So it's 120,536 kilometers, or 74,898 miles. That's just the distance across Saturn. 74,898 miles. Oh my goodness. I don't know how long it would take for us to drive across Saturn if we could. Well, we can't because it's not a rocky planet. Remember, only our inner planets are rocky and we can stand on them. If we tried to stand on Jupiter, what would happen? Woo, we'd just slip right through it. Same with Saturn. We just slip right through it because it's a gas planet. Although, remember we learned about Jupiter has a solid nickel and iron core. Well, I think Saturn has a solid iron core too. So somewhere deep in there, inside the gas, we could possibly stand on part of Saturn. Okay, let's take a look. How far is it from the sun? Oh, this is so far, we can't even. 1.43 billion kilometers, or 886 million miles. Look at which planet is it from the sun? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 6th planet from the sun, Saturn is. Wow. And one day on Saturn, remember, that's how long it takes to spin, to rotate on its axis. So it's day and night. So the part that's facing the sun is day, and the part on the other side is night. One day on Saturn is 10.5 hours. That's about half of our day. Our day is 24 hours. So we get about 12 hours of daylight and about 12 hours of dark. But Saturn spins faster than Earth does. It says it has 60 plus moons, and does it have rings? Yes. That's a lot of moons. Let's find out. Let's look at our other fact card and see what else we can learn. We're always interested in how long it takes for it to go around the sun. But as I said a minute ago, it's the 6th planet from the sun, number 6, and it's the 2nd largest planet in our solar system. So we learned last week that Jupiter was the largest. Saturn is the 2nd largest, and it looks like it too from all of our planets. All right, let's take a look at its solar revolution. That means a year. How long does it take for Saturn to make one trip all the way around the sun and back to its original starting place? How long does it take it? Let's find out. Take a look at this, guys. Look at that. How many years? 29.5. That means 29 and a half years for Saturn to make one trip all the way around the sun and back again. 29 and a half years. Oh my goodness. Mr. Barber and I have been married 30 years. So Saturn has only gone around the sun one time in the time we've been married. And it's only gone around, I haven't even lived long enough for it to go around more than once. Wow. Well, let's take a look here. I'm going to tell you something else about Saturn, but Saturn's thousands of beautiful rings are made of billions of rocks and ice particles. And the first person to discover Saturn was Galileo. And he was a famous scientist that lived back in the 1600s. So this is 2020. So that was a little 400 more years ago. Not quite 500, but he lived a long time ago. Galileo was the first person to view Saturn through a telescope in 1610. And let's take a look at this. All 4 gas giant planets have rings. Oh, does that mean Jupiter has rings? Yes, we talked about that last week. Saturn has rings, and we're going to find out about the other 2 planets coming up. But Saturns are the only ones visible by telescope from Earth. Oh, so we can only see Saturns from Earth by telescope. I guess if you get out in outer space, you can see Jupiters, you can see probably Uranuses and Neptunes, but we can only see Saturns from Earth. They must be a lot. And I understand they look different, beautiful colors. Saturn actually has 82 moons, 52 known, and 29 awaiting confirmation. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of moons. How many moons does Earth have? One. One moon right there. And we call it the moon. Luna, that's its name. All right, if you're a first grader or kindergartner, you can get your yellow notebook and turn to the Saturn page. If you're a pre-K student and your mom can download or print off the picture of Saturn, you could color this. But let's take a look and read what this says. Saturn's thousands, I'm going to point to it. Saturn's thousands of beautiful rings are made of billions of rocks and ice particles. Wow. I'm going to read that one more time. Saturn's thousands of beautiful rings are made of billions of rocks and ice particles. Wow, remember, it's a complete sentence. It tells a complete thought. It begins with a capital letter and ends with a period. Don't forget to trace that period. Wow. Billions of rocks and ice particles. Do you think you could stand on Saturn's rings? No. They're just like the asteroid belt orbiting Saturn. So you can't stand on them. Okay, I'm going to push this over and get our picture of Saturn. You can be tracing that while I tell you a few more interesting facts about Saturn. Let me read right here to you. Saturn is a gaseous giant. That means it's made of gas. Gaseous giant planet named after the Roman god of the harvest. So it's another one. We've got many of our planet names are named after Roman gods. Beneath its thick atmosphere is hydrogen and helium, and perhaps a rocky core not much bigger than Earth. Wow, remember what I said? Could we stand on Jupiter? No, we'd slip right through until we got to the core, the small core. Could we stand on Saturn? Nope, we'd slip right through until we got to the core. Well, they're saying that the rocky core is not much bigger than Earth. So it might be about the same size as Earth. Saturn is known for its distinctive rings. Like Jupiter, Saturn has bands of clouds and swirling storms. But it doesn't look like it, does it? You can kind of see some bands and lines there at one of the poles, because this is a photograph from outer space. But it's not like Jupiter with the big red spot storm. Well, let's find out why. The planet's cloud bands are not as prominent as Jupiter's because the top of the deep atmosphere is hazier. Well, that does kind of look like haze, doesn't it? Could look like cloud cover or haze or fog. Like Earth, Saturn is tilted, so it goes through seasonal changes. Giant storms erupt in the atmosphere during certain seasons. Wow. Remember Mars has seasons? Well, so does Saturn because it's kind of at a tilt, at an angle, just like Earth. Remember, it's angled, it's tilted on its axis. Okay. So, let's read a little bit about its rings. Saturn's rings are wide but thin and flat. As Saturn orbits the sun, the rings can be seen through a small telescope. When we see the rings edge on through a telescope, they nearly disappear because they're so thin. At the right, that's this side, the thin dark line is Saturn's rings. The black dot is the moon Tues. I probably am not pronouncing that right. Wow. Okay, and I want to read to you just tell you about these moons. So Saturn's moons are mostly made of a rock hard coating of ice at temperatures below 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Ooh, that's really low. That's really cold. Nothing can live that cold. Although they are all made of nearly the same material, the moons look different from one another. Oops. This is its largest moon, Titan. And Titan is the second largest moon in all the solar system. And It's even bigger. This moon is bigger than the planet Mercury. Titan has a thick nitrogen atmosphere that is smoggy. It says with hydrocarbons, the kinds of chemicals emitted by automobile engines. So if you look out the back, the tailpipe of a car, and you see that thick, foggy, the smoggy smoke, the dark, that's what's all surrounding Titan, the moon. And here are 3 other pictures of other moons of Saturn. All right, I hope you have enjoyed talking a little bit about Saturn. I'm going to see if I can sing you the Family of the Sun song in just a few minutes. Don't forget to finish your page in your yellow folder if you're a kindergartner or first grader. And kindergarten and first graders, you can also print out the coloring pages and include them in your yellow notebook. Okay, bye for now.